Finance meeting. Roll call, please.
Mr. Foyce,
Yes.
Mr. Nichols,
Yes.
Mr. Bozen.
For Mr. Childs,
For
yes.
Mr. Childs, yes.
Thank you. All right, may I have a motion, please?
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem,
Yes, sir.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the agenda as well as approve the minutes of the January 6, 2025 meeting as proposed.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. First up, we have travel requests.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to make the motion to approve the following travel request. Detective Jurgensen, class meeting, American Association of Police Polygraphists, 48th Annual Seminar, Lake Tahoe, Nevada, May 4th through the 10th, 2025, not to exceed $2,516. Second one is Jacob Geller, Natural Resource Technician, Shade Tree Short Course 2025, destination Ames, Iowa, February 19th to 20th, 2025, not to exceed $310. Officer Christensen and Roberts, ILEA Driving Instructor Recertification Course, Newton, Iowa, March 5th, 2025, not to exceed $638. Sergeant Ludwig with the Police Department, class meeting 2025 AWP Spring Training Conference, Des Moines, Iowa, March 2nd through the 4th, 2025, not to exceed $578. Officer Lyons in Harrington, class meeting basic SWAT school, destination Independence, Missouri, June 15th through the 20th, 2025, not to exceed $3,634. Officer Saunders, class meeting International Outlaw Motorcycle Gang Conference, Litchfield Park, Arizona, May 18th to 25th, 2025, not to exceed $2,067. Officer Gasic Munez, Defensive Tactic Instructor, Johnston, Iowa, March 2nd through the 7th, 2025, not to exceed $1,475. Officers Thomas and Harrington, class meeting AR-15 Armor Course, Ottumwa, Iowa, March 10th and 11th, 2025, not to exceed $1,813. Ron Bailey, Central Garage Mechanic, Pierce Fire Truck Maintenance Training, Appleton, Wisconsin, February 3rd through the 7th, 2025, not to exceed $3,806. Scott Brunson, Sanitation Director, Rich Strange, Fleet Maintenance Director, Brad Manal, Assistant Director of Maintenance, ICT. Pro Lead Advanced Leadership Training, Hawkeye Community College, once a month, February through December of 2025, not to exceed $5,835. Good luck with this one. Can you help me with that? How do you pronounce his name? Shobik, Roy Shobik, or Shobik Roy, financial analyst, meeting government accounting intensive series. It's a webinar, January 21st through the 24th, 2025, not to exceed $550. Central Garage staff class meeting after treatment system training, destination on-site, City of Waterloo Central Garage. Dates to be determined, not to exceed $6,250. Tracy Southall, Housing Program Manager in Blackhawk County Health Department employee. Class meeting, 3-day Healthy Home Assessment Practitioner virtual course. Destination, not applicable. January 14th through the 16th, which is just past 2025, not to exceed $1,130. And our Mayor Quentin Hart to attend the Accelerator for America. Destination Rancho Mirage, California, February 12th through the 16th, 2025, not to exceed $1,200.
Second.
All right, excuse me. We have a motion and a second. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next up, we have the pre-authorization to expend over $2,500.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem,
Mr. Nichols.
I'd like to approve make a motion to approve the following pre-auths spend over $2,500. First is airport in the amount of $5,381, and that's for the annual DigiCast subscription with AAE IDMS integration with AirBadge. Next is for airport in the amount of $37,965, and that's to replace sliding entrance doors, interior and exterior, on both ends of the terminal. Next is for airport in the amount of $13,967, and that's for the aviation general liability insurance plus risk management fee. Next is for the airport in the amount of $60,000, and that's for social media / targeted marketing for calendar year 2025. Using Iowa DOT Air Service Development Grant Funds, $48,000 with $12,000 match. Next is for airport in the amount of $13,829, and that's to for the repair of an 8-inch water main break. Next is for central garage in the amount of $8,450.95, plus $500 shipping and handling, and that's to replace leaking / cracked head and gasket on vehicle number 121311. Next is for community development in the amount of $18,720, and that's for annual software renewal for the Neighborly software. Next is for central garage in the amount of $14,712, plus $500 shipping and handling, and that's for the truck body to be installed on number 192452 to upfit for concrete use. Next is for leisure services in the amount of $31,397, and that's for gym floor sanding and painting. Next is for MIS department in the amount of $3,000, and that's for general support block hours. Next is for police, the amount of $17,900. That's for the annual Cellbrite software renewal. And then finally, we have the street department in the amount not to exceed $70,000 plus $5,000 shipping and handling, and that's for the repair and maintenance of 1999 chip spreader SN 5707.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Budget line items to be amended. First is to approve the project budget for the agreement with the U.S. Marshal Service for the Northern District of Iowa Task Force Project in the amount of $8,000 for overtime services as submitted by the Police Department. To approve the budget amendment to increase reimbursement for service revenue line and increase machinery and equipment replacement parts expense line in the amount of $95,000 for equipment purchases and repairs. As submitted by the Streets Department, to approve the budget amendment to increase the sale of equipment and state fuel refund revenue lines and minor equipment and supplies and training expense lines by a total of $62,000 for fleet operations as submitted by Central Garage. Approve the budget amendment to increase refunds, damage claims, and labor and materials reimbursement revenue lines and various expense lines in the amount of $243,000 for traffic operations as submitted by the Traffic Department. Approve budget amendment to increase interest savings account and good faith deposits revenue lines and increase multiple expense lines in the amount of $51,000 total for sanitation operations as submitted by the Sanitation Department. Approve the budget amendment to increase Tri-County's revenue and the Tri-County expense line by $60,000 as submitted by the Police Department. And to approve budget amendment to increase miscellaneous revenue line and equipment repair and maintenance expense line in the amount of $950 for contracted printer return shipping and reimbursement as submitted by the library.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And finally, bills payments. For January 13th, that amount is $7,366,470.33. And for the January 21st, 2025, that amount is $3,328,378.50. I make a motion to receive, file, and forward to the full council.
I just had a quick question, Mr.
Okay.
Chairman. And it might be for Randy or Bridget, but in going through the bill payments, and when I look at the fiber bills, they're coming in at, like, this week's bill payments like $3.7 million, and they're usually $2 million, $3 million between the two. Can someone just give me an idea where we're at on that? When I look at $2 to $3 million every bill payment, where we're at financially on that, with our bond money, our ARPA funds, and any grant funds. I mean, are we getting close? Are we that we need to look at sewer revenue bonds, or is there? It's just such a large amount every bill payment, you know.
We get a second on that too.
Did we?
Seconded.
Yeah, he
Yeah, I
seconded,
seconded,
then he
and I
asked
asked
the
the
question.
Okay.
Yep. Hi.
Bridget Wood, Finance Director. Currently, the revenue bonds or the initial bond issuance of the 20 million that we have, Fiber has used 18 million of those, and we have a little over $1 million left for city expenses in relation to the build out. We have already issued 5.5 million in sewer revenue bonds for Fiber. We have been using some of that. I believe we have like a $4.9 million current balance of those. ARPA, we've spent roughly, I think the last we checked was about 15 million in ARPA itself. And then we are kind of like holding for the Fiber to get their first bond issuance so they can repay us back for capital improvement. So that fund is currently in the negative They owe us roughly 15 million right now, just on that alone.
In the negative 15?
Yeah.
And on the ARPA funds that we've spent, what was the total amount and what have we spent? Do you know? Do you have that on top of
the
your? I
total
didn't mean to
ARP
drop this on you at the last
The
minute.
total ARPA that the city received was a little over $30 million. At the end of June of 2024, it was at 22 million. So we spent 15 out of 22, I believe.
Because we used some ARPA funds for tax relief.
Yeah.
And then we ended up allocating the $2,047,000 at the end of the year for other
Right.
projects. So I just was wondering how close we're getting, my own personal, because I see this 2 to 3 million coming in every week.
Yep.
All right.
So the ARPA's almost finished, but not quite.
All right. Well, thank you so much for that.
Yep.
That hits home now. Thank you.
Great.
Thank you. All right. If there are no further questions, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.